Hey y'all, I'm Kimberland, and this is the Frolicking Truth, a soft space for Black women who are tired, brilliant, and ready to heal. Here, joy meets justice. We calm our Black ass nervous systems, we unmask, and we leave behind whatever that is trying to kill us. You're seen here, you're safe here, and you don't have to do this alone.
Hey y'all. Come on in, find a comfortable spot. Take a seat, girl. We got new digs, okay? I am so excited that y'all are here with me for episode 32 of the Frolicking Truth podcast for Black women who are tired, brilliant, and ready to heal, where joy meets justice and nervous systems get free. It is okay if you do not identify with any of those descriptors. It just means that when you are here, that you come ready to listen, learn, and support. My name is Kimberland, and it feels like so I'm on break right now, but also not on break because I'm doing this to make sure you guys get this content. Um, and it feels like I haven't been here in a while, but also I haven't because I'm in a brand new apartment. Oh my God. Y'all, if you're in the Patreon, you are getting this information closer to real time. There's a lot that was happening behind the scenes in this process. So, I did a vlog to share with my Patreon what has actually been going on in real time. So, yeah, it's been a lot. But anyway, Auntie done got her a new house, child. Man, cue the praise music right here. Yo. So, yo hablo español. Ok, yo hablo un poco español. Pero yo necesito tener negocios con muchas personas en el proceso. Todo en español. Todas las personas yo necesito hablar todo en español. Y yo tengo muy orgullosa porque yo puedo ser un adulto en español, en un otro país. Am, yo tengo mucho, yo no sé cuál, pero yo tengo, yo soy, estoy muy orgullosa. Um, Y'all, I had to do so much business in Spanish. Like, and the people are I'm talking, I didn't have to go get paperwork filled out. I didn't have to do just this is outside of all the other things that I've had to do. I've mentioned this, but not necessarily talked about the details. I'm also seeking asylum here in Colombia. So it's been a lot of business that I've had to conduct. But most of the time I've had someone with me to help me translate. But baby, during this process right here, during this process right here, it's been all your girl. And what I want you to know is I'm not afraid to hit you with a un momento, por favor. Ok, yo necesito usar mi teléfono porque yo necesito entender todo. Ok, I need to use the telephone. Okay, because I need to understand everything that's going on. But I have like been understanding, and it's been a few times where people been like, "Tell me what you heard me say," and I tell them back, and they're like, "Okay, oh, you speaking that Espanol, okay?" So I am so proud of myself. Like I am so proud of. Oh my God, y'all don't even know. Y'all don't even know the half, the depth. Like, y'all got to go back in the archives, honey, and understand what this journey has been like. But I'm in my new place and I feel so peaceful. It is like something out of a movie. Like, I literally was walking up the stairs the other day. So it's a loft. There's like a vanity and like backlit situation built in, very giving very city girl chic. Okay, giving very city girl chic, giving very. So one of my favorite movies is called Intergalactic. It's on Netflix. I actually just watched it the other day because I was like, "Oh my God, like it's this is happening." Okay, so the movie is by Kid Cudi. And interestingly enough, this is where we are in time right now. Okay, is that the 50 Cent docuseries dropped. Sean Combs, what is called The Reckoning, that just dropped. Okay, so that's kind of where we are just in the space of time right now in pop culture. So that's like all the conversation, but the connection there is that Kid Cudi was a part of that because there was an alleged arson that happened with his car because he was dating Cassie, and Sean Combs, who is a monster, blew up this man's car allegedly. And so after I had watched the documentary yesterday, it just came out yesterday, honey, and I was sitting there in front that and it was well put together. This is what I want you to know. This is what I want you to know. This is what I want you to know. And I'm gonna get to all the things that I gotta say. But since we here in the current and the present, y'all, I mixed y'all. Okay, so listen. I am not really a fan of 50 Cent. I have watched Power and I appreciate the Power universe and everything that he's creating over there, and all of that, right? But 50 Cent, like as a person, I don't really know him like that for real. So I'm not really a fan per se. But having said that, a broken clock is right 2 times a day. Okay. And one thing that he has consistently done is talked out about Sean Combs, and it may be coming from a place of revenge or whatever. It don't even matter. The things have been said and the things have been true. There is evidence that backs up these things, right? Man, they put this documentary together. I was 20 minutes in the documentary and I was like, yo, this is good. Like, this is good. This, I was inspired. Like, it was a lot that was happening just in the creation and the putting together of the documentary. The people that they had involved, the way that the footage that they had, the way they took us back in time to understand his upbringing. Like, it was very, very, very interesting. And they definitely connected some dots. La 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 la. They connected some dots. And so I'd love to know what y'all think. Hopefully y'all have watched it by now, because this is coming out on December 20th. So hopefully you've watched it by now. But baby, that was really something. Kid Cudi was mentioned for a moment in the doc, and so after I watched the doc, I needed something to cleanse my palate, because after all of that and like traumatic things and stuff, like you be needing a minute to be like, okay, nah, we're done with that. Cleanse that energy. So I lit me some incense, lit me some Palo Santo, put the diffusers on and things, and y'all. I just really was like, oh my God, this is about to be a full new season. I don't even know what to tell y'all to be ready for to expect when I get back in 2026. I don't know. But what I want to let you know is that the way that I feel in this space, the peace that I feel in this space, the excitement that I feel in this space for the next chapter, the way I feel reconnected, the way I feel creative, the way that I can literally see things that I have pictured that I know are going to happen in this space. Like, the way that God be working, the way that God be working, can't nobody never tell me that there ain't no God. Because the way that God be fusing my life together and sending me signs and signals and do this and do that and don't do this, okay, but this is for that, and like the way, baby, I'm sitting down here on this floor, so I can't really fall out like I really want to, but I just want y'all to know that the things that are in store for next year are going to be so phenomenal. And so, the last episode of the year that I have not yet recorded, I'm going to put in a teaser for our new podcast. It's called, I'm going to tell y'all what the name is, but I'm going to give y'all a teaser next time. I'm so excited because we have been working on this for so long. And the way that like we start to get our chemistry and jam is everything to me. Oh my God. I am genuinely excited. So actually, let me do myself a favor, and I promise I'm gonna get back to Kid Cudi. I did not forget, but let me do myself a favor and pull up this logo, y'all. From Auntie with Love is the name of our new podcast. And when I tell you, it is a good time. It is a good time. There are four aunties that are on this new podcast. And um, I'm gonna give y'all a sneak peek next week for the last episode of the year. So yeah, so that's been going on as well, right? So anyway, I don't really remember how I made that segue, but I'm gonna come back to this love situation. So I'm walking up the stairs. Oh, maybe because I was talking about the new season and all the things that are happening, and then I got really excited. So I'm walking up the stairs, and I'm just like, this is a new season. Like, this is literally like season three of this journey that I've been on. I need y'all to just buckle up and strap in because we getting the people organized and in place, yo. And I need you to be ready to mobilize, be ready to share the word, be ready to figure out how you're going to tap in because we are building a world outside of the systems that are crashing in front of our faces. And it gives me a joy that is so deep because this is only like God aligned. Like the way that God is like connecting things and waking up people and like it's wild. Like the way that manifestations are just happening right now is wild. So if you are like, dang, and this was not meant to be a commercial, but also if you are like, dang, I really want to know and I really want to like be a part of these projects and stuff, I really need you to come on over to the archive and make your way into the inner circle so that we can really start having some conversations about what this looks like and sounds like because when I tell you my brain and my spirit is just like bursting with all of the opportunities that we're going to be able to have. So I'm gonna get back to opportunities in a second. I want to put a button on this love situation. So season three is on the way, okay? And I've had these visions in my head of where certain things are happening and what that looks like and what that sounds like and all of that. So as I'm walking up the stairs the other day, I'm like, oh my God, this is the place. Like God led me here. And it reminded me of this place in this movie, Intergalactic, which was made by Kid Cudi. Like I said, it is over on Netflix. I just watched it the other day, and it's an animated film. Okay, so that's important to know. The movie is a love story, and he is an artist, and she's a photographer, and just very kind of like earthy, like type vibes, but like super colorful and vibrant. All of the music that is in it is written by Kid Cudi, and it's just a particular vibe like that just kind of resonates with me. I'll also share I have a few like anchor like series or movies these are things that are like kind of like my vibe. Another one is She's Gotta Have It. Again, an artist, very much like, these are very much like city chic. I've got my own thing going in the middle of all the stuff that's happening. Like, I'm still connected to the world, but I've got my own like vibe. That is very much what this next season feels like. So I'm getting excited because I know what God has done, and I am continually reminded that the word says that God can do exceedingly abundantly above all we could ever ask or think, according to his promise that worketh within us. Let me tell you something. How I have seen Ephesians 3:20 happen in front of my face many, many, many times. Okay. Things I did not imagine this for my life, like at all, not even a little bit. And there have been some very difficult things that I've had to live through to be able to get to this place. And I am just consistently humbled by the way that God guides me. And like, it's dope. It's just really dope. So anyway, I'm just sitting here in awe about everything that has been happening and everything that's going on. It really is just making me just so incredibly grateful and so humbled. So yeah, strap in and get connected, and really, there's a shift that's really happening right now. There really is. And it's happening outside of the system. So if you feel yourself being pulled in that direction, follow that. Follow that. And if you are saying to yourself, I need this, I want some of this, let me actually be intentional of sharing this. So, my brand bestie, Shekinah, who, has Let's Talk Sis promotions and everything that she does over in her world, she and I have developed an internship program called, should I say that now? I think maybe I should. I think I should also show you all this. Okay, wait. Dang, y'all getting all kind of Christmas presents today. This is wild. Okay, hold on. Oh my God, y'all. There is so much that has been happening behind the scenes. Y'all just have no idea. Oh my God. Okay, so Shekinah and I have been working on an internship program. It's going to give folks an opportunity to be in a space where they can get not just professional development, but that they're also able to get personal development and really learn how to build these types of movements and learn how to, first of all, learn who they are. That's the most important thing, okay? Is for them to learn who they are, what their gifts are, what their passions are, how God designed you, like what that looks like and sounds like. And then from there, being able to fulfill that purpose through executing different projects under the vision of what we have created here to amplify for our people and to really uplift Black women. So at this point, we are looking for social media managers who are able to help us focus on visibility and engagement and growth on social media platforms. We're also looking for content editors and content managers who are going to focus on quality and consistency and storytelling across the different content areas and the different platforms. We're also looking for brand partnerships and sponsorships interns. So, people who are going to help support us in making this profitable, right? And being able to build with strategic brands that will uplift our own community and the things that we have going on. We're also looking for content development interns who are really going to help us to shape the brand strategy and the audience needs. And we're looking for people who might not fit into any of those areas, but let's say you have a skill set like curriculum writing, or you are someone who is really passionate in healthcare and you want to be able to bring that into the space. We have a place that we are able to plug you into what is happening. And so, again, 18 and up, it doesn't mean that if you are somebody who is in your career, like you are very able to use this and then learn these skills and really help to develop these projects in your own projects, because the whole point of it is for us to be able to give these skills so that you then are able to go and do this for yourself, right? We over here teaching people how to fish, if you will. The information is in the description for how you're able to apply and share with us what your dreams are and your desires for how you would like to be able to support this vision, and what is your own vision, what are you carrying with you. So the first part of the process is you actually having the opportunity to receive instruction through Discover Your Destiny. So let me go ahead and do our commercial here so that you can remind yourself what that means. What if the thing you've always called too much was the exact thing God designed on purpose? This is for the ones who've always known they were different. Too sensitive, too loud, too knowing, too intuitive, too woo woo. But what if your sensitivity is actually your superpower? What if your intuition was your inheritance? Discover Your Destiny is a 10-week sacred journey back to yourself. We explore the design of your soul, your spiritual gifts, and the unique way that God speaks to you. This isn't church. It's not a rule book. It's not a performance. It's the moment you stop chasing approval and start walking in divine alignment. You'll gain clarity, language, and confidence around who you are and what you are here on the earth to do. You'll learn the real voice of God. And if you feel called to go on to become a certified intuitive melanated life coach, this is where that path begins. There are two ways to enter this sacred container: the Destiny track, full investments and coaching experience, or the Divine Exchange track, where internship meets soul work. You'll support podcasting, content creation, or brand development behind the scenes while learning how your unique gifts benefit the collective. Your knowing isn't a flaw, it's the fingerprint of God. This is your invitation, and I hope that you'll answer. All right. So, I want to do a subscriber update because I'm here, and why not? Why don't we do that? I will share with you all quick Raina update that Raina was in Twist, during this move and stuff, because I really didn't want to have to be like doing hair for real, for real. So I just took her down today, and I'm gonna let her do what she do. She's gonna grow over time, and it's gonna be perfectly fine. Like, we'll just see what she looking like and sounding like. But keeping her in the twist, I think, also helped that she would be tangled by now. Um, so that kind of helped to keep it together and was a little moisturized and all that kind of stuff. Gave her a little break. So now she's gonna grow, over the next few days. But I'm loving the journey again with Raina. Like Raina, she's that girl. Okay, she's that girl. So I'm excited to see, even with the different types of products that I'm gonna be able to create here, y'all. When I tell y'all, I get a glimpse of the kitchen and stuff too, because when I tell you it is like the perfect place to be recording content, it's a huge countertop. Like, oh my God. Now, the last time we checked in, I really don't even recall how many subscribers that we had. I'm really not sure. But what I'm going to tell you is, as of today, December 4th, we are currently at, give me the drum roll, we are at 1,560 subscribers as of today. 1,560 subscribers. 1,560 of you all thought it not robbery to come over here and see what we doing while we minding our black ass business. Okay. So shout out to our new subscribers. Welcome. Thank you for being here. My name is Kimberland. I am the founder of Minding My Black Ass Business. There's all kind of playlists and things that you can go back and watch to understand how this movement has begun. Okay. But I'm so excited that you're here. Like, really do click around, see the things, take some time to catch up, understand who I am, understand what we do up over here, and introduce yourself in the comments, child. Say hi. I pull people out the comments, and they done been on podcast episodes and better. All right. So make yourself known. If you made your way over here, it was not by accident. I promise you that. Because what we don't have over here is no riffraff. You understand me? We don't have no riffraff over here because I believe in blocking folks. Okay, so when you come over here, come and act right, or else you're not gonna be over here for too long because I'm not doing that with you. Okay. And so thank you all for watching. Please right now take a moment to like the video. If you are watching and you haven't subscribed, please do go ahead and subscribe. Turn on the notification bell, child, so you can get the notifications when new things drop. So yay, I'm excited y'all here, child. It's some amazing things that are happening over here in this universe. So tap in. You feel me? All right, big, cool. Two more things. Our next healing circle is on January 10th. January 10th, 2026 at 12:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, also Colombian Standard Time. That is when we are going to have the next healing circle. It will be immediately after the return of season 3 of the Frolicking Truth. That's going to be a fun time. So, if you want to register to attend the Healing Circle is a space for Black women to reconnect to their bodies and their breath. We do a yoga flow, and we also have some time to build some community and camaraderie and just show up for each other. We leave with affirmations, and we always leave better than we came. All right. So, if that is something that you feel like you want to be a part of, please go to tinyurl.com/Black Women Healing Circle. Go ahead and register. And we do this every month. So, every second Saturday of the month, we have our healing circles. And again, if you're a Black woman, come on in here, honey, and hang out and get loved on right quick. All right. So that's that. And then the last thing is reminding you all about the Sisterhood Heals book study interest list. So Sisterhood Heals is a book that was written by Dr. Joy Harden Bradford, who is the founder of Therapy for Black Girls. She wrote this book, Sisterhood Heals, back in 2023. I had the opportunity to interview her during that time about the book, and it is transformational. I want you to know. So we are going to do that book for our unofficial book study, if you will. So in the description, I'll have the links for you to get the book and to add your name to the interest list, so that once we get days and times and all that kind of stuff, I'll be able to let you all know through that avenue. So if you go to tinyurl.com/sisterhood heals, you can sign up on that interest list. Again, tinyurl.com/sisterhood heals. I want to kick us off today by taking a little trip back in the past. Okay. Now, if you are just finding me and understanding who I am, just a little bit of background as far as my internet career. So, I started working on the internet in about 2017 through a platform called Beautiful Brown Girls, who was founded by Christina Durin. And I worked with Beautiful Brown Girls for 6 years. So 2017 through 2023. And while I was with Beautiful Brown Girls, I had the opportunity to meet so many brown women across the US and abroad who were doing amazing things out here in the world. I had two talk shows on the Beautiful Brown Girls platform. One was called Brown Versations with myself and Sab, and that was kind of like a pop culture. We talk about things that brown women should care about. We always had a mental health moment, and a brown girl, beautiful brown girl spotlight. And it was a jam, and we would hang out and we would chill out together. Then I had another show called Brown Girl Boss. And on Brown Girl Boss, I would interview brown women who were doing these amazing things. And one of the women that I had a chance to meet during COVID times, her name is Jasmine Fords. And Jasmine at the time was an HR expert, and she came on to kind of talk about HR things. And at this time, I was just about to transition into Pennsylvania. So Jasmine and I had our interview. We clicked, not kind of, we clicked and had stayed in touch, right? We hadn't talked like in quite a bit, and I wound up talking to her one day. We would kind of just check in like, hey girl, I've been thinking about you, how are you, like one of those things, but knowing that if either of us calls, the other one is going to be there, like what do you need from me? So one of the other things that I had done through Beautiful Brown Girls is I started hosting mental health panels. So during this time in 2017 is also when I was writing my Discover Your Destiny curriculum. I had been in therapy, right? So, and I was still not yet fully out of the abusive relationship, but I was very much understanding who I am, right? And the how my gifts manifest and all that kind of stuff. So I had gotten my life coaching certification by then. So I was on the road to getting up out of there. And one of the things that had become really important to me was understanding mental health and what that meant, because I was wrapping my mind around the things that I had experienced. So I decided that I wanted to produce these mental health panels. And my first mental health panel I produced, we talked about what is mental health? Like, what is it? And what is the difference between mental health and mental illness? And on that panel, I had Dr. Shakina Andrews, who is one of my NEOs, actually, through Delta Sigma Theta Sorority Incorporated. I also had Dr. Felicia Fisher at the time, Green now, who is a Fiskite. And then I also had Disha Rosetta, who was on, and she is a life coach and mental health specialist as well. So they were on for my first couple mental health panels, and it was like an amazing time and really like caught on. The ladies who were a part of our community were like, this, more of these, right? So we did different ones. The very last mental health panel that I did, I wanted to talk about rest. This mental health panel took place in May of 2023. Now, for context, during this time, keep in mind that in July 25th of 2023 is when I had the mental health crisis. So in May, this is leading up to that time, but I'm not necessarily very aware of what is happening in my world. I'm just knowing that I'm tired. I am tired. Also, during this time, I was certifying my first group of life coaches. So I was deep in that work as well. And I had already started talking about the things that happened in Pennsylvania. So that was in 2022 before I moved to Columbia. And then once I came to Columbia at the end of 2022 into 2023, I went right into Discover Your Destiny and Life Coach certification. So I was tired, right? And I knew I was tired, but I also by this time I had not yet connected with Dr. Joy to read Sisterhood Heals, but that happened the next month. So it was a lot that was happening during this time. Okay. So I said to myself, I want to do this mental health panel and I want to talk about rest because we're tired. Like there's a lot that's going on. And I was talking to different women and they were just really, really tired. So I said, well, let me produce this mental health panel where we talk about rest. So, what I want to do is to show you an excerpt from that mental health panel. So, on this mental health panel, I already mentioned that I talked about Jasmine Forbes, who was one of, I said, my favorite guests. So, Jasmine is also the founder of Sister Siesta. She calls herself a rest alchemist. She prioritizes rest. Like it's something that she has discovered, especially during her work as an HR professional. She has discovered that she has to prioritize her rest, and she's had some experiences that have made her understand she needs to do that, right? So to talk about rest, Jasmine, girl, I need you to be here, right? So I call her up. She's like, bet. Then I said, we need a mental health specialist. So I get on the internet and I find Dr. Linnell Plummer. Dr. Linnell R. Plummer, who is the founder and CEO of Onyx Therapy Group. Okay. And when I tell you Dr. Linnell came in there kicking stuff down. Okay, kicking stuff down. I'm gonna put the link in the description for y'all to go ahead and watch it in its entirety. But when I tell you she came out the gate just knocking us in the throat, we was like, ma'am, relax. Wait a minute. But like was so good. So good. I just watched this the other day as well because I really wanted to make sure that I had this information fresh in my brain. So, anyway, let me go ahead and play this clip right quick.
What I was talking about was honestly understanding our rest deficits, and fully being rested means we understand those deficits in our life. And really there's seven rest deficits that are identified, but what I work with are eight. And the seven that are identified are spiritual rest deficit, creative, mental, sensory, physical, social, and emotional. But as Black women, Black people, there's a cultural deficit as well that we experience just moving about society. And for example, if and I'll use myself, right? I work in HR, and I'm over several people and dealing with a lot of different employee relations and different things. And especially since COVID, there's another layer of legalese that has happened in the workplace that we're dealing with. And so at the end of the day, I've talked to a lot of people. I've been in front of my computer screen and I've taken in a lot of emotion from people because they're upset about their pay, they're upset about their job, they're tired and they're frustrated, right? So for me, there comes a emotional deficit at the end of the day from dealing with that. There comes a sensory deficit that comes from being in front of my computer and typing and taking phone calls. And also there's a mental deficit that happens when I log off. And so understanding that those deficits are really what I need to pour back into myself to be fully rested allows me to connect to Jasmine as the whole person and really tap into, okay, today, sis, what do you need to really get the sleep that you need? Because I understand that rest comes before sleep. Having a rested mind allows me to get the healthy sleep that I need. And in order to get that, I have to identify my rest deficits. And it's been just a practice for myself and others that like I'm in community with and sharing this with because we don't know, right? Like if you hate your job, and you're working all the hours and you get home, you pour a glass of wine and you sit down, you cut on Netflix and you're like, you know what? I'm just going to go to bed early. I'm going to go to bed at 8. I'm gonna wake up at 8, and that's 12 hours of sleep. I should be fully
Right.
rested for the day.
Should be.
You should be.
Should
But
be.
right, you wake up, you still have the bags under your eyes, you still have the adrenaline in your chest, your neck is tense, and you're like, damn, 12 hours, that should have did the trick. And we just don't understand the practicality and the practice of really being rested, and identifying those deficits really helps us to get there. And we're all unique, right? All of our pull, all the pull from us is different every day. Sometimes it's not mental, spiritual, sensory, and emotional. Sometimes for me, it's physical, creative, and and cultural because I'm code switching all day. Code switching will take the life out of you. And I understand, like, okay, Jasmine, I really need to pour back into that, but also, how can I stop the deficit from happening too? And so there's just a lot of conversation with self, a lot of sitting with self, a lot of getting still to understand that and really identifying it for each day and for each person too. Yeah.
So I'm gonna pause us here, y'all, because also my food just came. So I'm gonna pause us here, but y'all chew on that for a second.
A few moments later.
All right, y'all, I'm back. I had to take a rest for a minute. I needed to eat. So Jasmine laid out those seven types of rest, and well, the eight. She added cultural rest to that. So let me go back and repeat to you what those different areas are. So we have physical, mental, emotional, spiritual, creative, sensory, social, and then Jasmine also added cultural. And so, what I love about this is one of the activities that we do in Discover Your Destiny is we do self care plans. And I've really been thinking about revamping this particular module because I want to be more intentional about things like rest and learning how to rest, right? So, and the different types of rest that are present and us being able to find where those deficits live. So I said all that to say I'm on break, right? I'm gonna do a lot of this recapping next week for the end of the year episode, but 2025 was a lot. I started out the year in Panama with my face busted wide open, having had to get stitches. Like that's how the year started. And I wound up leaving my apartment and we moved to another apartment, and that apartment had construction outside every day, and it was torture on my brain. And what I knew is that I needed to go somewhere so that my brain could have a moment to relax for a minute. And that's how I wound up in the mountains. And I had envisioned that place as well. I had envisioned the view. I knew that I needed to be outside the city. I knew that I didn't need to hear any noises. I just needed to be able to just let my brain just relax for a minute. And interestingly enough, as I mentioned earlier, with was that here? I might have was talking about that with the Patreon. Patreon. Y'all remember earlier when I was talking about the place. There wound up being some triggers there at the place that didn't allow my brain to fully relax, but I was able to relax from that constant construction and sensory situation that was happening for me. And one of the things that I realized for myself is sensory rest is something that is really, really important. So even here, I'm in the middle of the city. I'm glad I just said this out loud so I don't forget. Um, so I want to look into earplugs when I am sleeping so that I am able to really block out the noise. What I do now is I use a combination of brown noise and then like the sleep frequency when I'm asleep. And that usually kind of helps to take my brain wherever it needs to go. But one of the things that Dr. Linnell is talking about in this mental health panel is setting up the conditions for us to be able to experience rest. So I'm gonna come back to that in a little bit, but there are certain things that I realized I was like, I need to have, this rest. And for me, it rarely is physical. Like my deficits are usually mental because my brain is constantly going, like the number of logistics that I be having in my brain about stuff that I have to do, especially as I was trying to figure out where I was going to move and like all of that, and knowing that I was going to need to move, and then knowing that I need to be real intentional about how I'm moving. Like that was a lot of mental energy that was being expended that could have been being used elsewhere, but I wasn't able to. So mental is a place where there's often a deficit for me. And then social, people take a lot out of me. And granted, I'm not necessarily showing up physically in spaces, but I be talking to people all day long. That's what I do. So I'm coaching teachers, I'm coaching from life coaching, I'm talking to mentees, I'm talking to my intern, like I'm planning and executing, like I'm talking to people all day long. And that's why I don't know if y'all remember that I had reinstituted my Tuesday No Talk Tuesdays, which I need to tighten up on that because I be getting lax and I be allowing myself to make exceptions. And sometimes I'm like, oh well, I'll take a shift to work because I need the money, and all that. We got to tighten all of that up, right? But social rest is a big place for me, and along with that social comes the emotional, just like Jasmine was talking about in the clip, that I'm taking in so much emotional energy. I'm talking to first year teachers, first and second year teachers who are trying to figure out what's going on and how do they do this and how do I help my kids. And I'm also overwhelmed. My life is crazy and I don't have a nighttime routine, like, like there are so many things that go into it. So for me, it really does drain me in those areas. And so, one of the reasons why I said I need to have this break is because I really needed an opportunity to give my brain a rest, you know. So I'm knocking out these last two episodes, but also it's not finna be a whole bunch of bells and whistles and things going on in this because I really need to prioritize rest. And so there's another part in that mental health panel. I really do recommend that y'all go watch it. Now also buckle up because she gonna get you together, girl. She was like, cause y'all be talking about y'all finna go rest and you online shopping for Sephora lip gloss. Uh-oh, girl. Hey, hey. So shots is fired, okay, the whole time. But it's so good because we need that. Like we need somebody to be able to be like, hey sis, hey girl, you finna be burnt the hell out. You finna be burnt the hell out. And what's so crazy, as she was saying a lot of that during that time, I was headed straight towards burnout. Like literally 2 months later, brain was like, we are done here, right? So I'm trying to be much more intentional with listening to my body so that I'm able to recognize the signs when I do need rest. But more importantly, one of the things that Dr. Linnell was saying in there is that we plan everything else, but we don't plan our rest. And if you can't say amen, say ouch. Okay. Now I done planned this break and this is the first time that I've even really done that. And that also has not been complete break, which I do know like during this time where we're off for the winter holiday, I have to not work. I have to because I need time to just be. Like we all need that time. So anyway, in the planning of the rest, I really am wanting to be much more intentional next year in honoring myself and making sure that I have rest, right? She talks and she being Dr. Linnell says in the panel, she'll look at the calendar. We got everything on there, but we don't even have a bedtime. We don't have like we just being real willy-nilly with our rest. And it's really important for us not to be. So I'm curious for you all, what areas do you have deficits in that you may need to kind of get yourself together about what that looks like and sounds like for you so that you can be intentional in building up your rest storage, if you will, in those areas so we're not working from a deficit. So tell me in the comments what areas that you're going to be working on. If you're watching during the live premiere, go ahead and drop it into the chat of what is your primary area that you know that you need to work on getting some rest. Um, so I'm glad that this came back up because to the point earlier when I was saying like I be knowing what my body needs. A lot of the work that I've done is in reconnecting to my body so that my body is able to tell me what it needs, at these particular times. And then also not shaming myself when I'm in a space where I do realize that I need rest. Por ejemplo. So I moved on Sunday, right? Then Monday, I had to wake up early to go to the notary and all that kind of stuff. By the time I got back Monday to Monday afternoon, I started experiencing nausea because my cycle was about to come. So I was nauseous Monday, all day Tuesday, even into yesterday, which was Wednesday. And so I was kind of frustrated because my plan, if you will, was to get everything unpacked, get everything as settled as I could, everything that could have a place, get it in its place, and like all of that. And I really wasn't able to do that because I just wasn't feeling well. And at some point, I had to just be like, hey, you're not feeling well today. So you're not gonna do those things because you need to rest. Like plain and simple. Like you're not doing that today. And I'm grateful. For instance, one of those days was Tuesday, and Tuesday is a day where I already don't have meetings. So I already had that rest day that was built in for me to be able to do that. But even during these times, it's so wild because if you are someone who is watching this who does not identify as a Black woman who is tired, brilliant, and ready to heal, and you are not a woman in experiences a menstrual cycle, every month we out here working and bleeding and cramping and being nauseous and like having all sorts of things that are happening every month. What are you doing to support the women in your lives when they're experiencing excruciating pain and nausea and bleeding all day? How are you making their lives just a little bit easier? Or are you an asshole? Are you? Are you somebody who says things like you must be on your period? Don't be that person if that is who you are. If that is who you are, I don't even know how you made it over here. Get from around here. Okay? Um but anyway, that idea of I should be doing something while I am actively ministrating is something that I've really just been trying to get myself to break away from, because honestly, during that time, that should be a time for rest. It is a natural time that is built in for rest to be present, and we don't really do that. So I'm trying to be much more intentional about listening to my body and giving myself permission to rest when I need to rest. And I feel like I have to explain it. And if somebody don't understand it, I don't care. That's the thing. This is the thing about like being 40, over 40 for real. I don't care. I wasn't asking you for your opinion. I literally, if I'm telling you something, I'm telling you because I'm sharing information with you, unless I explicitly say, what do you think? But other than that, I'm definitely not soliciting your approval. Even if I am, even if I am asking for your opinion, I'm definitely not asking for your approval. That's definitely not about something that concerns my life and my well-being. And I'm not going to sit up here and be explaining why I need to do what I need to do in order to feel safe in my body and in my space and in my life. I'm not doing that, right? And I wish that I would have had that when I was younger, to be able to really stand up for myself and be like, no, I'm going to prioritize me, because it is often still a struggle sometimes. But let me tell you something. Is I'm learning more and more every day, and I'm getting faster and faster at it every day. I'll tell you that. I'll tell you that. So, to this point about resting and giving ourselves an opportunity to not be doing and to just be, my urge is that you find that time. That you find that time. I don't care if it is 30 minutes a day, a time where you are not obligated to be present for anybody else but yourself. We got to start somewhere. Okay. And so, having said that, I'm going to take us to what Dr. Linnell says in this panel of how we can set up our spaces to be prepared for us to practice the skill of rest, because that's something else that she shared and that they continue to share throughout. And the people who were there with us that were watching, one of the things we kept thinking to ourselves is like, I don't know how to rest. I grew up in a household where if the sun was up, you had to get up and be doing something, look busy. And I know that that comes from slavery. And also, I'm not on that. I'm not on that. Like, I'm not being busy just for busy's sake. I'm not doing that. And that's something I had put my foot down about very early in my life, but in my adult life. because when I was at my mama house, if the sun is up, you got to be looking busy. Like, for what? We're not, why don't you sit down? Like, why don't you sit down? How about that? That would make everybody's life so much easier. Jesus. But anyway, having to unlearn that practice of being busy and always got to be doing something and figuring out how to just sit down and do nothing, that's a skill that we have to learn because we have been conditioned otherwise. We've been conditioned otherwise through our families, through the school system, through corporate, like through expectations and patriarchal society. We have been conditioned, especially as women, to believe that we don't have a right to rest. There are quite a few movements that really talk about things like radical rest and why us as Black people and specifically Black women, why we need to prioritize our rest, because in order for us to be able to go on and fight another day, we have to have rest. That's how I found myself on this side of the revolution, on the healing side and the rest side and the connecting to your body side, because we have to have that in place in order to be able to build the community that we need to build. You know, we talk about brain research over here all the time, and Dr. Linnell had talked about it in a lot of it in that panel. But I've talked to you all about when you're in survival mode, your brain is not physically capable, it's not biologically capable of accessing the part of your brain that allows you to strategize and plan and be creative and problem solve. And you cannot do that because you are stuck in your amygdala. So the act of revolution is us giving ourselves the opportunity to come out of survival mode so that we are able to organize and plan and build community. Okay. So this is with purpose. This is with intention. This is not just something that we are doing just to do or saying just to say, you know, like this is important. So, having said that, let me go ahead and play the clip of Dr. Linnell explaining how we are supposed to set up our environment so that we can rest.
But while we're waiting for
What's
some
up,
of those
bud?
questions to come in, I also wanted to talk about how to set your environment up for rest, because
Yes.
it's not so. Please, folks, put those questions out. But when we are setting our environment up for rest, we need to make sure again that we are setting boundaries around those senses and allowing that to the senses to go on rest too. So our environment, our room needs to be at a proper temperature. It should be a little bit more on the cooler side. I know my family that's watching right now is like, girl, you like your house hot, but to rest, you need to have your room a little bit cooler, and you need to turn off your electronics, right? You need to make sure that your TV is off, your iPhones and all of that, your Samsungs, all of that stuff is off. You don't need to have anything in your ears because that's concentrating that hearing sense. So you want to turn all of that kind of stuff off as well. And even though you're not going to sleep, you can cover your eyes. You can put something over your eyes and practice a mindfulness exercise like I talked about, like feeling your toes and feeling your ankles and things like that. So what you really want to be able to do is create an environment that doesn't have a lot of sensory experience. If you want to burn something like incense or sage, have it off to the side, not so close to wherever you're resting, so that you can just allow everything to decompress. When we're talking about that emotional boundary in that environment as well, you need to go ahead and tell people that this is your rest time and you are unavailable during that time. And with that, try to not communicate with people for about 15 to 30 minutes before you go into rest. And when you come out of rest, also try to not communicate with people for at least 30 minutes to an hour. That way you can get the download, or like Jasmine said, this upload. You start getting this freshness of ideas, this freshness of feeling, this freshness with self. But while we're talking about rest, I want you to be intentional about how you set up your environment so you can actually rest, because otherwise you'll be distracted by everything that's around you and won't actually go into that space.
Mm-hmm.
And
Side,
can I
yeah.
ask a question? How long of time should this be? This time period that's set?
Yeah. Everybody should start at what their general baseline is, right? So don't try to start rest and go right into an hour's rest. That may not work for you. And for some people that could create anxiety because they start thinking about all the other things that they have to do, and feeling guilty for the fact that they're resting. So I suggest starting your rest element at about 5 minutes and then slowly increasing it to 10 minutes and then increasing it to 15 minutes. But if 5 minutes is all you can do right now, that's okay, because it's a skill, right? And when you have a skill, you have to learn it and you have to practice it and you have to reinforce it. So start with 5 minutes. Shut off communication with folks 15, 30 minutes ahead. 5 minutes of solid rest, shut it off again at the end of that. Increase it slowly, slowly until you can get to the place that feels very comfortable for you.
Yeah.
So, setting up our environment, right, is something that is really important. Setting up our place where we're going to get our rest. And that's the part that I'm on. So, what do I need in my spaces to be able to create this Zen zone, to be able to create a space where my nervous system feels rested and connected, and I'm not fighting to, try to feel comfortable. I've spent the past 6 months with my toes clenched because I don't like tile. It was so hard. It was so hard. Um, but reminding myself, like, I can relax now. Like, you can release this. You can release this. I actually had deja vu about this. But being able to remind myself that I am in a space that is my safe space. And how can I set this space up so that it provides me the rest and the connection that I need in order to feel safest? So that is your homework, child. Your homework is to figure out, one, what your rest deficits are and in what areas, and then how are you going to set up your environment to be able to intentionally rest and plan to be able to rest. All right. All right. That's it, y'all. So, um, we will have the Christmas holiday in between this time, as well as Kwanzaa and holiday season. So in this time where people are intentionally shutting things down, I encourage you to be intentional about shutting things down. We big circle back after holidays. Like, we shouldn't be accepting nothing new, doing nothing new. Baby, if it ain't done by now, it's all right. It is all right. Like, give yourself a moment to just be. Give yourself a moment to just be. So, having said that, let me grab our quote for today. So, our closing quote for today comes from Audre Lorde. Resting is an act of self love and self preservation in a world that often seeks to erase our humanity. So I'm inviting you to take that invitation to love yourself, that invitation to look out for yourself, that invitation to give yourself permission to rest. All right. So again, tell me in the comments what the areas are that you know that you need to prioritize, what types of rest that those will be, and what is your plan for setting up your space so that you can proactively plan to have your rest. I want to wish everyone a happy holiday season. Again, we'll have one more episode that comes out for 2025. That will be the end of year episode. So we'll see y'all next week. All right, y'all. Bye.
Thank you for listening to The Frolicking Truth, where joy meets justice and our nervous systems get free. Please be sure to like, rate, and comment. Subscribe to the YouTube page, Minding My Black Ass Business, and follow me on all social platforms. Until next time, bye.